After my husband was found by the Marquis residence, he regained his memory. But he forgot about me. To make him remember everything, I tried every possible way. When I limped to deliver Ganodermalitum soup to him, I overheard a friend asking him, "You clearly remembered her long ago, why do you still hide it from her?" He smiled leisurely, with a bit of pride. "I promised her a lifetime of love, just the two of us. But how can the Marquis Chui's residence allow a peasant girl to be the principal wife? Just to avoid some trouble. Turns out my young man had long since died. I continued to deliver soup and medicine to him as usual. Continued to help him manage the wedding with Princess Lanyi. Only on his wedding night, I left behind a divorce letter. And stepped onto the Phoenix carriage that came to fetch me. Ding! webnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. On the way to deliver Ganodermalitum soup to Chui Jingyan, I fell. Porcelain shards cut my knee, and blood slowly seeped out. Yet I didn't feel any pain. The miracle doctor said the soup must be drunk while hot. If it cools, the medicinal effect will be greatly reduced. Just as I reached the door, I heard a familiar voice. "You clearly remembered long ago, why do you still hide it from her?" My steps halted. Chui Jingyan's voice came. "If I don't hide it, she would have caused a scene long ago." He chuckled softly. "I promised her a lifetime of love, just the two of us. But how can the Marquis Chui's residence allow a peasant girl to be the principal wife? Just to avoid some trouble." Only then did my knee begin to hurt. The pain slowly drilled into my bones. At 15, I found an injured young man by the river. Besides the surname Chui, he remembered nothing. In our youthful ignorance, spending days together, we developed feelings and became husband and wife. On my birthday that year, he said he would go to town to find me a suitable birthday gift. He never returned. When we met again, he was Chui Jingyan, heir to the Marquis Chui. He remembered everything, except me. All these years, I've tried every way to make him remember that past. Telling him, acting it out for him, seeking famous doctors, gathering renowned herbs. The Ganodermalitum soup I brought today was obtained after spending a month deep in the snowy mountains. And kneeling for 3 days in front of the eccentric miracle doctor's house. Only then did I get it. But it turns out, he had remembered me long ago. Now that the Marquis residence is preparing for the wedding, what do you plan to do with her?" The person asked again. She, a peasant girl, should be grateful to catch Buddy Chui's eye and enter the Marquis Chui's residence. What to do with her depends on Buddy Chui's mood, doesn't it? Turns out there were more than 2 people in the private room. Several people laughed together. After Chui Jingyan regained his memory, things got very ugly between us. He couldn't stand me crying and calling him Chui Xiaoyao. Nor could he bear the imperial seal on our marriage certificate. He threw a divorce letter at me in public. When I was preparing to leave and let him go, his mother, the Marquis wife, stopped me. She said he had just injured his brain. Previously, despite the old Marquis opposition, he insisted on finding me. But fell from a height while avoiding the residence guards. This child is deeply attached to you, saying he wouldn't be the heir if he couldn't find his wife. One day, he will remember. Could you wait for him a little longer? I stayed. Enduring his cold eyes, ignoring everyone's ridicule. Stayed without clarity. Until 2 years ago, when the old Marquis passed away, I quietly accompanied him for a while. Only then did he start to soften towards me. Even to the point of being sticky sweet. I always thought it was my affection that moved him. Now I realize, at that time, he had already remembered, hadn't he? But why? A tear rolled into the soup. Who's outside? I wiped away the tear, covered my knee with my dress. Knocked on the door. It's me. Why are you here? Chui Jingyan personally opened the door. With a face full of surprise, when did you come back? Why didn't you let someone inform me? Then with a face full of concern, such heavy snow, are you cold? He held my hand to warm it in his palm. I smiled at him. I brought you a bowl of hot soup. I withdrew my hand and placed the soup on the table. Didn't know everyone was here, excuse me. I won't disturb you gentlemen drinking. I slightly bent my knees in a curtsy, then turned to leave. Wait. Chui Jingyan called out to me. Took the fox fur hanging on the side and draped it over me. Wait for me at the residence, His eyes seemed to hide stars. I lowered my eyes, softly responded. Closed the door, night fell, snowflakes danced. Yet under the fox fur, there was a warm feeling. As if the conversation I just heard was all my illusion. But in less than a quarter of an hour, the window of the private room opened. That bowl of soup I had spent a month obtaining was mercilessly thrown into the snowy night. Back at the Marquis residence, Manju started crying as soon as she took off my long socks. Madam, how did you end up like this? Why are there so many frostbites on your feet? And these knees, did someone torture you? Who would dare? Tell the young Marquis, he will surely. I shook my head. Manju fell silent. She knew as well. Chui Jingyan had the servants in this courtyard call me madam, but he never publicly acknowledged my status. How could he stand up for me? I'll take a nap first. I took off my long robe. Call me when the young Marquis returns. All right. Lying down, Manju quietly took out the medicine box and gently applied medicine to me. I couldn't help but think of that year when my fever wouldn't subside. The young man was the same, his eyes red with worry. Bringing me water and wiping my body over and over. If you die, then die. I'll sell your house and your herbs, and live freely and happily. No one will remember you. After a while, he held me and cried bitterly. Wani, don't die. If you die, what will I do? I'll have to go to the underworld to find you. After that, he insisted on marrying me no matter what. Look at me, I don't have a single item of a married woman, it's impossible that I've been married. What if I remember the past? Remembering the past isn't a good thing? Wani, no matter who I am, no matter who you are. In this life, I will marry no one but you. There was some noise outside the courtyard. Manju quickly lit a lamp and went out. She soon returned. Is he back? I got up. Manju's eyes were evasive. The young Marquis has gone to Princess Lani's place. She looked at me, hesitant to speak. In the end, she said, Madam. The young Marquis and Princess Lani, their wedding date has been set. Madam, don't be sad. Manju hurriedly grabbed my hand. The young Marquis has just forgotten about your relationship. Madam, didn't you find the miracle medicine this time? Once the young Marquis remembers. I couldn't help but laugh. Laughing, I started crying along with Manju. Before tonight, wasn't I thinking the same? He just doesn't remember. Doesn't remember the deep affection of the past. Doesn't remember the vows of the past. That's why he fell in love with Song Lani at first sight, couldn't wait to marry her. So I risked everything to venture deep into the snowy mountains. Determined to pick that rumored miraculous Ganodermal item that could cure all ailments. Before leaving, I repeatedly instructed him. Wait for me to come back before discussing the marriage. But it was all just a scam. When is the wedding date? I asked. The 8th of next month. Half a month later. No wonder people were saying preparing for the wedding. I wiped away my tears. Manju, I'm hungry, I want to eat your wonton noodles. Okay, I'll go make it right away. Once Manju left, the room became cold and quiet again. I looked at the wind and snow outside the window, took out the note from my sleeve. At the latest, in half a month, we will surely reach Chui City. What a pity. My young man is already dead. But there's no need for me to stay in this place any longer. I got up and went to the desk. General, take care, and I will wait for you. The next day, Chui Jingyan came with Song Lani. As soon as Song Lani saw me, she lifted her chin. Her fair neck was full of ambiguous marks. Oh, lucky bride, what luck have you picked up this time? After staying at the Marquis residence, I was mocked by the people of Chui City as the lucky bride. Even taking a walk by the river, I could pick up their young Marquis. You. Chui Jingyan smiled and pinched her hand. Tapped her nose, naughty. Song Lani couldn't wait to cling to him. Enough, I'm in a good mood today, so I won't bother with you, commoner. Come, let me tell you some good news. Song Lani announced two things with an arrogant expression. First, considering that I saved Shui Jingyan's life, she allowed me to marry into the household on the same day as her. To become a concubine. Second, since I have been in the Marquis's residence for 3 years, all matters concerning the wedding will be handled by me with full authority. Third, Song Wanyi played with the jade pendant at her waist with interest. Shenwani, is it? She lifted my chin with her foot. Who gave you the name Wanyi? I knelt on the ground. My mother. Pfft. Song Wanyi laughed, then suddenly kicked me hard on the shoulder. I had already been kneeling for 3 days. My knees were wounded. With that kick, I fell directly to the ground. Shui Jingyan frowned, wanting to get up. Song Wanyi held his hand. Jingyan, listen to me first. She raised the jade pendant she was playing with towards me. Do you know what this is? Do you know where my Lani comes from? I stared at the E character on the jade pendant. I couldn't help but smile. How could I not know? The whole country knows. The E character jade pendant is a relic of Empress Ming. Years ago, Empress Ming personally carved it, intending it as a birthday gift for Princess Zhaohan's 8th birthday. Unfortunately, before the birthday arrived, during the battle at South Pass, the Empress sacrificed herself for the country. As for Lan Yi, it was originally the name of Princess Zhaohan. The Emperor and Empress had been in love for many years and had only one daughter. The Emperor took the character Lan, and Empress Ming took Yi, naming her Lan Yi to show their deep affection. After the Empress's death, Princess Zhaohan disappeared. The Emperor, grieving the loss of his wife and daughter, fell ill from longing. A year later, he adopted a girl from the common people and titled her Princess Lan Yi. Treasured like a pearl. Jingyan, tell me. After we marry, we must return to the capital to meet the Emperor. If the Emperor doesn't ask, that's fine, but if he does. Song Wanyi sneered lightly. A farm girl dares to clash with my royal sister's name? She looked at Shui Jingyan and laughed. What I mean is, she'd better change her name. Don't you think I'm considering her well-being? Marquis. Manchu kowtowed. Even she knew. Avoiding the taboo of the emperor's name exists, but avoiding a princess's name is unheard of. Song Wanyi intended to humiliate. Shui Jingyan only looked at Song Wanyi. His gaze softened inch by inch. Of course. He affectionately pinched her cheek. Our Lan Yi is indeed thoughtful. He looked at me, then, Wanyi. I lowered my eyes and smiled. Okay. Madam, how could you agree? As soon as they left, Manchu burst into tears. Our bodies and skin are given by our parents, and our names and surnames carry their hopes and blessings. Didn't the young Marquis drink the Ganodermalitum soup? Hasn't he remembered you yet? You are his lawfully wedded wife. To make you a concubine and have you manage the wedding, even changing your name. Madam, if this really happens, you won't be able to hold your head up in the entire Chui city. Let alone the Marquis's residence. It's okay. After all, we won't be in Chui city anymore. Thanks to Song Wanyi, the last bit of obsession in my heart dissipated. I calmly managed the wedding of Shui Jingyan and Song Wanyi. She wanted a red veil, I embroidered it. She wanted congratulatory words, I wrote them. She wanted me to be her footrest on her wedding day, I nodded and said okay. The whole residence laughed at me. To become a concubine for the young Marquis, she doesn't even care about her dignity. I ignored it. I seemed to be the same farm girl who loved Shui Jingyan dearly, humbly enduring all hardships. No one noticed that I took away Manchu's working contract. Donated the medicinal herbs I've accumulated over the years. Burned the notes that were sent to me every few days. 3 days before the wedding, as expected, there was a mishap. Song Wanyi claimed her character jade pendant was missing. Then, it was found in my room. Before locking me in the woodshed, she sneered in my ear. Do you think you're worthy to serve the same husband as this princess? She locked it decisively. I didn't even shout injustice. The last 3 days, being locked here, I enjoyed the peace. Only on the night before the wedding, Shui Jingyan suddenly came. He brought a dessert I love. And a jar of ointment. He sat down in front of me, took my hand. Gently applied the ointment. So he knew about the frostbite on my hands. As he applied, he sighed. Wanyi, what you did was really inappropriate. Just changing a name, even if you're unhappy, you shouldn't have touched Lani's jade pendant. That jade pendant is a relic of the late Empress. How could you touch it? I looked at him. Laughed. Cui Jingyan lowered his eyes, not seeing. Fortunately, Lani is reasonable and won't hold it against you. Locking you up for a few days is enough. He rubbed the back of my hand, very gently. The concubine ceremony can't proceed tomorrow. I've already talked to Lani. Tomorrow you will apologize to her in front of all the guests. And this matter will be over. I laughed again. This time Cui Jingyan saw it. He frowned. Lani is a princess. She's already made a huge concession. Oh. He sighed again. Give me some more time about marrying into the household. Before the new year, I will give you a status. Oh. Lani. Cui Jingyan was displeased. I picked up a piece of dessert, put it in my mouth. Lani. Cui Jingyan grabbed my arm. Apologize sincerely tomorrow. You should have learned how to perform the grand ceremony by now, right? Cui Jingyan. I said while eating, I'm going home. We have no tomorrow. Lani. I looked up. Cui Jingyan's brows were tightly knit, as if I had told a heinous lie. Tonight, you go back to your room first. Tomorrow, no matter what, you must obediently kowtow and apologize to Lani. I blinked. Oh. Cui Jingyan gritted his teeth, flicked his sleeves, and left in anger. I don't understand why Cui Jingyan is angry. I didn't deceive him. I'm going home. But I never thought it would be on this day, in such a manner. The next day, the entire Cui city was bustling with excitement. Marquis Cui was marrying Princess Lani, and the streets were deserted as everyone gathered to witness the event. Only my courtyard was quiet, with Manchu silently wiping her tears. After returning last night, Cui Jingyan dismissed all the maids and matrons from my courtyard. And he made it clear. From now on, the Marquis's residence would have only one madam. I sighed. Manchu, I want to eat the osmanthus cake from the north of the city. It should still be open, right? Manchu was startled, quickly nodded. I'll go buy it. I'll go right away. Silly girl. As soon as she left, the surroundings quieted down. The divorce letter had long been written. The marriage certificate was also burned. Everything in the house that needed handling had been taken care of. I waited quietly until the joyful music of the wedding procession came closer, and the front courtyard was bustling with noise. I wrapped myself in a cloak. As I stepped out, someone laughed. Oh, the princess hasn't entered the door yet, she can't wait to bow and apologize? I ignored them. Until the sky was filled with one after another of lanterns. Only then did I stop to take a look. May you fly side by side and never part for 100 years. 1,000 lanterns, 1,000 blessings. All personally written. I remembered the young man who once said, I will never let you down. I had imagined countless endings. He never remembered me. He finally remembered me. Or we would finally see the light of the moon, or part in sorrow. But never had I imagined today. The young man was already dead. Lani would also cease to exist. As the first firework blossomed in the sky, I pushed open the main door. Amidst the noise of congratulations to the Marquis on his new joy, a group of soldiers knelt before me. We welcome your highness back to the palace. Cui Jingyan did not feel he was wrong. As early as 2 years ago, he had gradually remembered Lani. But so what? As he said, the Marquis's residence could not have a farm girl as its madam. After his father's death, he wanted to return to the capital and regain the emperor's trust. He needed a powerful marriage alliance even more. Talking to Lani about these things would only add trouble. Moreover, he had already done his best to give her the best arrangement, hadn't he? Before Lani, everyone respectfully called her madam. After Lani, she also married him on the same day as Lani. To marry into the house with a princess, what an honor. It was she who did not cherish it. Cui Jingyan suppressed the unease in his heart. He didn't know why. Recently, he always felt Lani was somewhat strange. Especially the phrase going home last night. She was a mere orphan girl, what home was she returning to? Ridiculous. Forget it, after this matter, he would coax her again. He only needed to show a little sign of remembering the past. She would surely be so happy she'd lose herself. Marquis. The steward whispered in his ear, "There's no one in the west courtyard." Cui Jingyan frowned. The wedding ceremony was over. He had promised Princess Lani that Shinwani would bow and apologize to her in front of all the guests. Marquis. A maid stepped forward. Handed him a letter. Cui Jingyan opened it. The first words were divorce letter. Absurd. She doesn't want to come? Song Lani lifted the bead curtain. Her beautiful eyes filled with grievance. I knew it, she doesn't really care about the Marquis. Cui Jingyan crumpled the divorce letter and strode out. No one? Ridiculous. She couldn't bear to leave him. Years ago, he couldn't drive her away, and today she would willingly leave? But she really wasn't there. Not only was she gone, but her things were gone too. The medicinal herbs she had accumulated for him over the years. The items she had gradually moved from that small room. Her wedding dress when she married him. Even the silk in the charcoal basin, burned to only leave the words Xiaoyao. Cui Xiaoyao, the name he used. It was their marriage certificate. Marquis, Marquis. What are you looking for? Get out! Cui Jingyan kicked over the charcoal basin and went outside. Just in time to see the sky, with a few scattered lanterns still not fallen. May you fly side by side and never part for 100 years. Will you marry me, okay? Cui Xiaoyao in this life will never let you down. What if you let me down? Forget it. If you let me down, I will wish you and that girl fly side by side and never part for 100 years. As for you and me, we will never meet again in life or death. A buzzing sound in his ear. She knew? Someone. Cui Jingyan shouted, seal the city gates. Seal the city gates. Not a single fly is allowed to leave Cui City. Your Highness, as per your instructions, the silver notes and the contract have been handed over to Miss Manju. And she has been escorted out of the city. Outside the carriage, a young general reported back. All right, good. I silently gazed out the window, watching the last sky lantern disappear into the night sky. We too are about to leave the city. He continued, does your Highness have any other matters to attend to? I thought for a moment, no, nothing else. Then please, your Highness, the general dared not lift his head, sit comfortably. As he finished speaking, the horses neighed. As the carriage passed through the city gate, I wasn't sure if it was just my imagination. It seemed like someone was shouting, close the city gates. The Marquis has ordered. Close the city gates. No one is allowed to enter or exit. But I didn't have the mind to ponder over it. Outside the city, snow began to fall. Gently and quietly. Outside the moat, a bright lantern was lit. A line of horses and men stood in formation. The leader wore a black cloak, his hair and beard were graying. I could vaguely make out a familiar face. I got out of the carriage. Halfway there, my steps slowed. I hadn't expected that in such cold weather, he would travel thousands of miles to personally come and fetch me. Too many images flashed through my mind. Seeing him, I should probably kneel? But before I could bend my knees, I was held up. Pulled into a warm embrace. My Zhao Han. Scorching tears fell on the back of my neck. Why did I take in a stranger who remembered nothing? Because of shared suffering. I understood more than anyone the confusion and pain of having no past. Why did I risk my life to fetch Ganodermalitum from the snowy mountains? Because I knew it worked. It was early autumn. A miracle doctor whom everyone flocked to see came to Cui City. Cui Jingyan had already started spending time with Song Lanyi. I had no other options. I joined the many seeking medical help to see the miracle doctor. But the doctor was eccentric. Reclusive. When in a good mood, he would randomly choose a patient. When in a bad mood, he shut his doors tightly. I waited for half a month and only caught a glimpse of his robe once. Until one day, I was the first to arrive. I didn't see any patients, but I did see a limping rabbit curled up in the corner of a fence. I knew some medicine. Basic, but enough for a rabbit. As I finished bandaging the rabbit, I saw a young man in white frowning at me. A long-standing ailment, its fate. Before I could react, he stuffed a pill into my mouth. After that, I had long dreams every night. In the dreams, someone called me Zhao Han, someone called me Lan Yi, someone called me Your Highness. And someone called me Henin. I seemed to understand why I had a sachet embroidered with the word E. Why I was a wild child with no past. Due to the great battle at South Pass, the southern barbarians held my mother and me as hostages, demanding my father open the city gates and cede 30 cities in the southwest. Your Majesty. As a ruler, for the country and the people, I would rather die than yield. In front of thousands of soldiers, my mother took her own life by running into a sword. The southern barbarians were furious, abandoning me and beating the war drums. Before that, to stop me from crying, they had already forced medicine down my throat for several days. So, I was the real Princess Zhao Han, Song Lanyi. Worried that fake Song Lanyi might cause trouble, I didn't tell Cui Jingyan about this. Instead, I made a trip to Cloud County. I handed the county governor a sachet and a letter, asking him to present it to the emperor. Then I went alone to the snowy mountains. I asked the miracle doctor for more medicine. His apprentice said that such a treasure was unique. To make more, it required the blood Ganoderma from the snowy mountains. At that time, I was so happy. After waiting for so many years, my young man was finally coming back. And I was actually Princess Zhao Han. Cui Jingyan had always wanted to be summoned back to the capital. Once I found the blood Ganoderma, news from my father would surely come. Then, we could get to know each other again. We could return to the capital hand in hand. We could even have a grand and magnificent wedding. So, I was determined to find the blood Ganoderma. No matter the cost, I had to find it. I did find it. Then, outside the tavern, I overheard that conversation. I returned to the capital. Returned to the imperial city. Returned to the place I once called home. Everything seemed unfamiliar, yet familiar at the same time. The swing I used to play on, the calligraphy I used to copy, the books I used to read. Perhaps because I regained my memory not long ago, these things remain vivid in my mind. After returning to the capital, my father finally stopped shedding tears when he looked at me. He hosted a grand banquet for the ministers, solemnly announcing my return. He was spirited for 3 months, then fell ill. The entire country knew that after the battle at South Pass, Emperor Song's health was not good. Not only was the empress's position vacant, but the harem was also empty. Not only was Song Lanyi adopted, but even the current crown prince was a member of the other royal family. From beginning to end, he only had one wife, Empress Ming. I am his only biological daughter. When my father fell ill, the imperial physicians frequently visited the palace. I unexpectedly encountered an old acquaintance. The miracle doctor from Chui City turned out to be a resident of the capital. Not only a resident of the capital but also from a noble family. The heir of Marquis Ji Rufeng. Thus, this meeting was somewhat awkward. That day, when I retrieved the Ganodermal item, he refused to make medicine for me. I knelt in front of his house for 3 days. Actually, thinking back now, it was him who said the medicinal soup shouldn't be cold. And it was him who told me where Cui Jingyan was drinking. He must have known, right? Cui Jingyan probably didn't say those words for the first time. He knew the Ganodermal item was useless, so he didn't want to give it to me. Ji Rufeng looked at me. His face was pale. He moved his lips, lowered his eyes, then looked at me again. I smiled at him. No need to mind. His mother is my aunt, so I call him Cousin Ji. His dark pupils moved slightly, suddenly his eyes turned red. He slightly bowed, turned, and left. Time in the capital passed quickly. My father was ill for half a month, and the imperial physician said he recovered faster than before. One day, the head physician specifically found me. Your Highness, it was my suggestion to adopt Princess Lanyi back then. Indeed, His Majesty at that time. Your Highness must not blame His Majesty. I helped him up. Why, do I seem so difficult to talk to? Indeed, Song Lanyi is quite the focus in this palace. I often overhear the palace maids discussing her. Her temperament. Her marriage. One day, I even heard them discussing. Didn't she say she would bring her husband back to the capital to meet His Majesty right after the wedding? It's been 3 months, why is there still no sign of them? You don't know, do you? I heard. The palace maid lowered her voice. The young marquis from Choi City originally had a wife. Ever since he married her, he's been crazily searching the world for his first wife. How could he have the mind to follow her back to the capital? Oh. I said she was in such a hurry, she quickly married him after just one letter. Turns out she was eager to replace the original wife, to climb up. Song Wani's reputation in the palace isn't good. Many people are looking forward to her return, to see the excitement when she meets me, the true princess. Thinking about the entanglements between her and her husband, if she sees me. Her expression will indeed be quite interesting. But I have no interest in pondering these things. After my father recovered, he took me to pay respects to my mother. Then he took me horseback riding, hunting, and even kite flying. While accompanying my father, I began to study medicine. As a child, I researched my own amnesia, and as an adult, I researched Shui Jingyan's amnesia. I have read quite a few medical books. Unexpectedly, the head physician of the Imperial Hospital was still very afraid of me. As soon as he heard I wanted to study medicine, he took me to Ji Rufeng. He ran away quickly. Learning from Ji Rufeng isn't bad. He is my cousin. As children, we often played together. During this time, something joyful happened. When I left Shui City, I gave all my silver, along with the deed of manumission, to Manju. Thinking that she had gained her freedom and had silver, her future would be secure. Unexpectedly, I met her again in the capital. She said she couldn't stand doing nothing alone and originally wanted to try entering the palace as an embroiderer. I simply kept her by my side. Thus, every day I accompanied my father, learned medicine with Ji Rufeng, played and joked with Manju. Life was fulfilling and light. The past seemed like a dream I once had. Soon, spring passed and autumn came, and my 19th birthday arrived. On the first birthday after I returned to the palace, my father insisted on organizing a grand celebration. Seeing him so happy, I didn't try to dissuade him. It involved making new clothes and crafting new jewelry. Father even wanted to renovate my palace. The palace was bustling with activity. Even the capital city was busy. Anyone with a bit of status received invitations and was busy preparing themselves. Busy choosing birthday gifts for Princess Zhaohan. On the eve of the birthday banquet, even Ji Rufeng took me to a jewelry shop. Mother is having a headache over what to give you, see if you like anything. Cousin Ji, tell Aunt she doesn't need to be so formal, the palace lacks nothing. He then took me to a silk shop. Next, to a cosmetics shop. What about this street? Ah. Not just a gift, but an entire street? Wait. Ji Rufeng's eyes lit up, and he quickly walked to the street corner. Sugar figures. I used to crave them as a child. Once, he hid one in his sleeve and sneaked it into the palace. But that day, the class at the Imperial Academy ended late, and it melted all over his sleeve. I was just reminiscing about Ji Rufeng being chased by the teacher. How in the blink of an eye, he turned into this aloof, cold, and unsmiling figure. Behind me, a voice filled with surprise and joy. Wani? Hubby, followed by another female voice. Are you crazy? How could she possibly be Shinwani? I turned around. Song Wani's words stopped in her throat. Wani! It's really you. Cui Jingyan almost desperately grabbed my arm. Wani, how did you come to the capital? I searched all the government offices and found no trace of you entering or leaving, I thought you. His eyes were red, as if he was about to cry. As long as you're all right, as long as you're all right. If you don't want to change your name, then don't change it. If you don't want to be a concubine, then a noble concubine. A noble concubine is fine, right? I wasn't denying you, I was planning to wait until you have a child or two. I brushed off his hand. Strange, it's only been half a year, but my heart is completely calm. Sorry, I am not Shinwani. I turned to leave. Wani! Cui Jingyan grabbed me again. Hubby! Don't you understand yet? Song Wani stepped forward and sneered. Look at her attire, can she still be Shinwani? I wondered why she disappeared. Turns out she climbed a higher branch. To appear quietly in the capital and wear palace items, that higher branch must be something extraordinary, right? The market was bustling. I didn't want to argue with them here and make a scene. But hearing Song Wani's words, Chui Jingyan's grip on my arm was painfully tight. How exactly did you come to the capital? Where did the money come from? You were clearly my. Before the word wife could be uttered, a sharp sword aura attacked. Chui Jingyan let go quickly, but still had a piece of skin cut off. Blood gushed out. Ji Rufeng pulled me behind him, the sword tip pointing directly at Chui Jingyan. Do you want to die? Ji. Song Wanyi was scared pale. Chui Jingyan clutched his wrist. He looked at me, then at Ji Rufeng, as if he understood something. But hindered by the sword in front of him, he gritted his teeth. Ji Rufeng looked like a demon. The veins on the hand holding the sword hilt were bulging. Ji Rufeng, tomorrow is my royal sister's birthday. What do you want to do? Ji Rufeng seemed to wake from a dream. He stepped back, pulled me, and turned to leave. Ji Rufeng, how dare you secretly keep a woman? Song Wanyi shouted behind us. Just wait. See if I don't tell my royal sister about this tomorrow. Ji Rufeng walked extremely fast. At the palace gate, he threw down the long sword. He kept moving forward. Until we reached my sleeping quarters, he pressed me to sit on the low couch. He squatted down and gently lifted my sleeve. My mind was still buzzing. Just a moment ago, I felt he truly intended to kill someone. It's all right. I moved my arm. Though Chui Jingyan used force, it was just for a moment, leaving only a red mark. Ji Rufeng still took out ointment. He applied it bit by bit on my arm. Sigh. We didn't even buy the sugar figure. There's still sugar frosting in his hair. I instinctively raised my other hand to smooth his hair. He happened to look up. Our eyes met. Although I learned medicine with him in the past half year, we've been as respectful as ice. He treated me no differently. For the first time, we were this close. I lowered my hand. He looked away. Put down the ointment, turned his back. Silence ensued. The sunset quietly fell between us. After a long time, he stepped to the round table. Put down a sugar figure. Turns out he hid it in his sleeve again. Thank you, Cousin G. I quickly said. His hand paused. Another moment of silence. Your Highness. His voice was a bit hoarse. Why don't you call me Rufeng anymore? My heart skipped. I lowered my eyes. What about you? I said softly, why don't you call me Henin anymore? That night, I had many dreams of the past again. Ji Rufeng and I were not just ordinary cousins. Nor were we just ordinary playmates. We had been engaged since childhood. He was 4 years older than me. You could say I grew up in his arms. From the moment I could remember, he was always holding my hand, hugging me, spoiling me. Hey, sugar figurine, Henin, what else do you want? Shoo. I'll copy it for you, be good, go to sleep, uncle won't find out. This is my Henin. Speak. Who made her cry? Henin, come here, I will teach you. Henin, don't worry, I will carry you. Henin. If it weren't for that night, Henin would probably have married Rufeng long ago. Kids would be running all over the place. That night was actually just an ordinary night. Near the year's end, the capital had one temple fair after another. Henin loved the hustle and bustle. But Father Emperor went to the border, and Mother Empress stayed in the palace. It was impossible to take the princess to join the commoners' festivities. But it didn't matter. Hasn't it always been like this over the years? Rufeng arranged a small sedan chair, and the two of them, no one dared to check, no one dared to ask. Henin even obediently left a note. Mom, Henin brought you a sugar figurine. They held hands, watched a shadow play together. Released lanterns together. Picked the biggest, most beautiful sugar figurine for the Empress together. No one expected that the southern barbarians, after years of peace, would suddenly rise in arms during the border inspection. Nor did anyone expect that enemies had long been lurking in the capital. The sugar figurine shattered on the ground. The empress hurriedly left the palace. Rufong! These were the last 3 words Henin left. From then on, the capital no longer had Empress Ming. Nor did it have Princess Zhaohan. I think I should have a good talk with Ji Rufong. The next day, I sent Manju early to deliver a message, inviting him to meet at the garden before my birthday banquet. Unexpectedly, before I saw him, I ran into Cui Jingyan and Song Wanyi. Both of them looked at me with expressions of disbelief. Song Wanyi was the first to rush over. You actually dared to enter the palace? Ji Rufong actually dared to openly bring you into the palace? I planned to talk to Ji Rufong and didn't bring any palace attendants with me. Xin Wanyi. Do you have any self-awareness at all? Do you think you deserve to attend my royal sister's birthday banquet? I was quite annoyed and turned to leave. Song Wanyi sneered coldly. Do you think you've just flown up to the branches? Let me tell you, Ji Rufong has an engagement with my royal sister. Do you know why he's 23 and has no wife or concubine? He's accomplished at a young age. Why hasn't he entered officialdom and studied medicine? All these years, he's traveled across the land searching for my royal sister. He's kept himself pure waiting for her. Shinwani, what do you count for? Is it really like this? Just wait. I'll tell my royal sister how you, this vile woman, are. Lan Yi. Cui Jingyan stopped her. He stepped forward, grabbed my arm, and led me deeper into the garden. I suddenly regretted having dismissed the palace attendants from the garden earlier. Wani, did you hear clearly? Cui Jingyan pulled me to a fake mountain. Ji Rufong wants to marry Princess Zhaohan. Following him, you're not even a concubine. I shook off his hand. No need for Marquis Cui to worry. Wani. He blocked my path. I was wrong before, I admit it. Did you hear what I said at the restaurant? Wani, I just love you too much. I was afraid that if I confessed everything, you would leave me. Is it wrong to love you too much? Looking at his self-proclaimed passionate expression, I didn't want to say a word to him. I bypassed him. Shin Wani. And you? He was furious and embarrassed. You keep saying you love me, under the guise of seeking medicine for me, claiming you knelt for 3 days. Where did you kneel? On the bed? A surge of anger rushed through me. I turned and slapped him. Cui Jingyan, being married to you is the greatest shame of my life. The Marquis Jizer is accompanying his mother, saying they've gone up the mountain to pray for your safety. I didn't see them. Manju returned, looking dejected. Upon seeing me, she frowned. Your Highness, why are your eyes so red? I closed my eyes for a moment. It's nothing. Just a bit upset by some nonsense. Let's get ready. I sat down in front of the dressing table. Since returning to the palace, this was the first time I dressed formally as a princess. Father was extremely extravagant, eager to adorn me with all the treasures he could find. By the time I arrived, the banquet had already begun. I quietly sat down beside Father. Just like when I was a child. Ji Rufong and I always found these banquets boring, playing outside until halfway through before sneaking back to our seats. Father, just like back then, smiled warmly and patted my head. I felt a sudden pang of emotion. Actually, things are quite good as they are now. After sitting down, I looked for Ji Rufong. But before I could see through the crowd below, someone noticed me. They offered toasts and gifts. Sitting far above on the high platform, with the banquet outdoors and candlelight obscuring faces, there was no need for pleasantries. Receiving gifts and raising my cup was enough to show gratitude. Father! Song Wanyi's voice was particularly sweet. Sister. Contrary to the palace maid's gossip of jealousy and madness, Song Wanyi performed a grand salute as soon as she arrived. Lan Yi, along with my husband Marquis Cui, extends our best wishes to the royal sister. May you have this day every year, and this moment every year. The flow of congratulatory gifts left everyone momentarily speechless. It turns out Song Wanyi is not foolish. She clearly knows where her favor in recent years comes from. Your Majesty. Cui Jingyan, beside her, seemed impatient. Your Majesty. I wish to accuse the Marquis G's heir, Ji Rufeng. He suddenly stood up, pointing directly at Ji Rufeng, abuse of power. Forcibly taking my wife. Everyone in Shui City knows, my wife Shenhuani has always been deeply in love with me. He, relying on being your majesty's nephew, acted recklessly. Luring her to the capital. Your majesty. Please seek justice for me. The anger I had just suppressed flared up again. Manju worriedly held me back. No one in the capital knows about my past. She doesn't want me to become a topic of gossip again, pointed at by others. Wife. Ji Rufeng let out a cold laugh. Isn't Marquis Chui's wife right beside him? Don't try to confuse the issue. I was seriously injured and lost my memory. Then where is the marriage certificate? Ji Rufeng didn't even let him finish. Where is the token? At the very least, where is the person? Cui Jingyan then looked around, searching for my presence. Yet, he happened to overlook this corner above. Song Wanyi, however, had been watching this side all along. It's just unclear whether it was because the distance was too far, the candlelight too dim, or if she simply separated Shenhuani from this position. She did not recognize me. Failing to stop Cui Jingyan, she gritted her teeth and addressed me. Sister! What my husband says is true. The Marquis G's heir actually kept a mistress behind your back. Enough! Father slammed the table. Silence fell. After a moment, Father's breath calmed. Mrs. Cui, he addressed Song Wanyi, you have something that should be returned to Zhao Han, right? Song Wanyi nodded repeatedly, hurriedly removing the jade pendant from her waist. Sister, I was mischievous back then and obtained it while father was ill, returning it to its rightful owner. She held the jade respectfully, prostrating on the ground. I couldn't help but recall that day, when she stood high above. Stepping on my shoulder, do you know what this is? Father softened his tone, Zhao Han, go ahead. I looked at the two kneeling below. Stood up. The ornaments jingled. One step at a time down the stairs. Until I was in front of them. Bent down. Took the jade with the character E. Thank you. Both looked up simultaneously. As if struck by lightning. Cui Jingyan knelt outside my palace. The rain poured down. No one paid him any attention. Manju kept flipping through books. Why not tell me how to summon lightning? So it won't strike him dead. Others in the palace were the same. When a maid passed by him, she accidentally spilled a tray of fish eyes on him. Mistaking fish eyes for pearls. The events in Shui City had long spread throughout the palace. Thanks to Song Wanyi's unpopularity. No one pointed fingers at me, but everyone mocked Cui Jingyan. Cui Jingyan didn't mind. He knelt at my palace gate. I will repay you for all the grievances you've suffered. On the first day, he was full of confidence. On the second day, his back bent slightly. On the third day, he fainted. Song Wanyi was much smarter than him. Knowing that my place was already a dead end, she went to kneel before father. And she did so with ease. When father went to court, she saw him off. When father came back, she greeted him. Then she began to kneel. Unfortunately, after 7 days of kneeling, she couldn't hold it any longer. She began to cry outside the Hall of Diligence. Crying that she shouldn't have made things difficult for me the first time we met. Shouldn't have forced me to bow to her repeatedly. Shouldn't have stepped on my shoulder, saying I wasn't worthy of the name E. Shouldn't have locked me in the woodshed, without food or drink for 3 days. Father, usually composed, kicked open the door of the Hall of Diligence. He actually didn't know what I had experienced at the Marquis Chui's residence. I never complained to him. What the outside world knew was nothing more than the melodramatic she loves him, he loves her entanglement. Unaware of these underhanded tactics. I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong, Father. If I had known her identity earlier, I would have. So if she didn't have this identity, she deserved to be humiliated by you? Father was extremely disappointed. You are not worthy of the name Wanyi. Someone draft a decree, stripping her of her princess title, banishing her back to her original place. From now on, not to be summoned, not allowed to enter the capital. I thought this matter had come to an end. After Cui Jingyan fainted, I ordered someone to send him back to the inn. I also sought an imperial decree from my father, forbidding him from entering the palace again. Since Song Lanyi could no longer stay in the capital, it was a good time for the couple to return home together. Back to their Cui city. But while Song Lanyi left, Cui Jingyan stayed behind. It was said that he waited at the palace gates every day. On the third day, on his way back to the inn, he was inexplicably beaten up. 3 days later, he was beaten again. Another 3 days passed, and he dared not leave the inn. Yet he still refused to leave. He began frequenting various tea houses and taverns. Everywhere he went, a beautiful love story would inevitably spread. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Wan Yi, and a young man named Xiao Yao. Why was he called Xiao Yao? Because he said, "Without meeting you, I wouldn't have encountered love." They met by the Wei River, pledged their love under the intertwined branches. She had saved his life. He was the first man to enter her life. They counted the stars in the sky together, chased summer fireflies together, spent many sweet and beautiful nights together. So why did they part later on? He cried as he told every listener. Only now do I realize the mistake back then. Can you tell Wan Yi? I am Cui Xiaoyao. Cui Xiaoyao, begging to see her one last time. When Manju relayed these words to me, she was somewhat emotional and curious. She no longer called me madam. Your Highness, will you see him? I want to. I put down the comb in my hand. But Cui Xiaoyao, he died a long time ago. When winter arrived, Cui Jingyan suddenly fell ill with a severe disease. His body was covered in sores, healing, peeling, and then growing again. One cycle after another, seeing countless doctors to no avail. The strange love stories in the tea houses finally ceased. No more gossip reached my ears. Life returned to its original state. Every day I accompanied my father, studied medicine, and learned some new things. Ji Rufeng no longer taught me. He said what he was good at were all unconventional skills. He sent me back to the main office. After that, he was often nowhere to be seen. Only one day, a voice full of frustration came from his room. What kind of things are you doing, child? It was the Marchioness, Ji Rufeng's mother. If you don't like someone, beating them up a few times is one thing. But tell me, did you poison him? Ji Rufeng neither admitted nor denied it. If you want him to leave the capital, isn't it just a matter of saying so? Why use such underhanded methods? I see there's not a single good piece of flesh left on him. Ji Rufeng, oh. Go and cure him. He's the only bloodline left in the Marquis Chui's family, and you can't let him die in your hands. Oh. Oh, what? When are you going to do it? Oh. I chuckled. Ji Rufeng, it seems, hasn't changed much. Cui Jingyan eventually left the capital before the new year. Before leaving, he somehow managed to send me a thick letter. I didn't open it. I threw it directly into the fire. On New Year's Eve, a heavy snow fell on the capital. When I saw that black figure, Manju was building a snowman, while clicking her tongue about the couple in Chui City fighting again. Quick! Close the palace gates. I interrupted her. Then, I went to my chamber. Sure enough, quietly placed on the dressing table was a jar of ointment. The places where I had frostbite would itch terribly in this weather. Why are you avoiding me? I panted, calling out to the person trying to open the palace gate. Ji Rufeng's body stiffened. He lowered his hand, but did not turn back. I looked at his back. Sighed, I call you Cousin Ji because now I have grown up and am no longer the naive little girl. Rufeng, I never blamed you. I never blamed him for taking me out of the palace. Never blamed him for not holding my hand tight. That year, after being captured by the southern barbarians, I cried to my mother. Mother, it's all Lanyi's fault. If Lanyi hadn't been playful and left the palace, I wouldn't have been caught by the bad people. If I hadn't been caught, Mother wouldn't have left the palace to find me, and wouldn't have. Mother gently wiped away my tears. Lanyi, this is our home, our country. Remember this. Taking without asking is theft, not winning is being as low as pigs and dogs. They were the ones in the wrong. Ji Rufeng's shoulders trembled, and he finally turned around. Those things are long past. The war was won, and father personally beheaded the southern barbarian leader to avenge mother. Now, I have returned as well. I took a step forward. Ji Rufeng stepped down the stairs. The snow was falling heavily. Yet I saw tears in his eyes. And somehow, tears welled up in mine too. Over the years, I remembered nothing. Father placed all his sorrow on the fake Song Lanyi. And what about him? I'm sorry. He took my hands. The warmth fell into my palms. I'm sorry, Henin. I didn't recognize you. Still feeling guilty about that, huh? I wiped the tears from the corners of my eyes. Then stood on tiptoe to wipe away his tears as well. It's okay. I didn't recognize you either, did I? A year ago, the desperate me met the equally desperate him. He didn't believe I would die. He only knew that I had been forced to drink many bowls of poison by the southern barbarians. He exhausted all his efforts to create a pill that could cure all poisons. He traveled across every land, yet still couldn't find the person he was looking for. Who would have thought? Over the years, both he and I have changed beyond recognition. But it's okay. The pill meant for me eventually reached my mouth. The snow is heavy and the weather is cold. I made some wine. Want to join me, Cousin G? I looked at him and smiled. We still have plenty of time to get to know each other again.